been waiting to go live. Oh my gosh. Here, I thought I was live already. I didn't hit the right button. Okay, now we're streaming. Yeah, it never fails. Yep, I got my hand raised. I'm on Zoom too. This is just that's just in my browser. Besides public comment, on the agenda, item 1 is the bids will be received for the Public Works project for the Affordable Housing and Sustainable Communities, round 3. I'm not into that one. Sidewalk repair program. Three is change orders for a bid. 4 is revised task order. Then there's some joint reports for personal services contract. I think that was from last week. Request for a revocable permit. Hopefully they don't make us wait till the end again. I'm really hoping they don't make us wait till the end.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today at the Board of Public Works meeting, October 16th. We will get started shortly, but just want to make a call for public comment. If there's anyone here attending in person in the hearing room, there are public comment cards in the back of the room. You can fill out and bring them up front. And we'll go through the callers on the Zoom so we can get organized before we get started of who is here to provide public comment. So if you have a public comment, please raise your hand and I will call on you by the name listed on the Zoom call so we could take down your information to be ready for when the meeting starts. First caller on the Zoom who has their hand raised is AG Bonta. Do you have a public comment today?
General public and all items. Thank you.
All items. Thank you. And please let us know which items you would like to comment. Next caller with the hand raised is Kenny. Kenny, you can go ahead and unmute yourself. And let us know. Hello, Kenny, we can hear you.
All right. I would like to speak on general comment.
Thank you. We will get to you when we get there.
All right.
Next caller is Mona M.
Good morning. General comment, please.
Thank you very much. Next caller with their hand raised is Sandra McLean. You could go ahead and unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I would like general public comments, please.
Thank you. We will call on you when we get there. And caller Yvonne, you can go ahead and unmute yourself and let us know if you have general public comment.
Public comment items 4, 6, 11, 13.
4, 6, and 13. Just to confirm, I don't believe we have an item 13. We have up to item 9 today.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I'm in the wrong. I apologize.
Okay, I thought I read your agenda twice. 4, 6, 11, and 13.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, that's all the hands we have raised on Zoom. Reminder, if you would like to provide public comment, please make sure to raise your hand. And we will be taking public comment before the agenda items. Thank you. Or up to the discretion of the chair. Thank you.
Oh, good, Peter. Interested in hearing what your questions and our discussion will be. That's okay, Amy. Thank you for being here to support, though. Appreciate it. Hey, does it matter? Yeah, we all hate taxes. But it's good that you're being responsible and getting it taken care of. I'll have to go take a look at that, Amy. Thanks for pointing that out. Okay, Cajun. Cajun Juju, thank you for listening, though. Yeah, I'll check out Super Cool's post. That's funny, Wendy. No, if she comes over, she'll see that your hand is raised if you want to join, Amy. And she'll add you in. Yep, you could just put your hand up. They'll notice. Well, they usually notice. Put it that way. Do you need the link, Amy? Yep, doesn't matter. They are who are in charge of the planters. And that's what I'm calling them on today. Okay, good, Amy. Every single week they're sticking their head in the sand about this. And I'm going to throw their own rules and regulations at them.
All right, good morning, everyone. Before we get started, I'm going to make one last call on the Zoom. Again, if you are here attending with us in person and have public comment, please fill out a card in the back of the room and bring it up front. Going to check on the few more hands raised before we get started so we can get your information. Caller, concerned citizen, please let us know if you have general public comment today or comment on our agenda items. You can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, I was just calling because the planners on Alba and Hubbard around the Scientology building are still
Okay, we're
there.
checking if you have general public comment. If you do, we'll let you know when we get there. Do you have general public comment to provide today?
That was my general comment.
When the meeting starts, we'll get there. Thank you. I'll note you down. Next hand raised is Amy's iPhone. Can you please let us know if you have general public comment today or comment on our agenda items?
Hi, it's going to be general public comment.
Thank you. We'll call on you when we get there. Caller with the name Joy, please go ahead and unmute yourself. Let us know if you have comment today, general public comment or comment on our agenda items.
General public comment.
Thank you. We will call on you when we get to that item. And last hand raised I see on the Zoom is call-in user 1. You can unmute yourself and let us know if.
Good morning, general public comment, please.
Great, thank you very much. And we will get started shortly, everyone. Thank you. The name Joy, please go ahead and unmute yourself. Let us know if you have comment today, general public comment.
Yep, Peter, I did, and I actually got an appointment with the workforce development team and got it all handled. Yep. Thank you for asking, though. Chicago's a different breed.
We are now
Recording in progress.
recording.
Oh, good.
Okay,
Good.
great.
Well,
Yes,
good
I
morning,
did hear
everyone.
that.
Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting for the 16th of October, halfway through the month. So crazy how time flies, but we're all having a great time here at the City of Los Angeles and ready to do our diligent work for the Board of Public Works. So welcome, everyone, at 10:06. And Ms. Satorsky, if you could please take roll call.
Great, absolutely. Good morning, Vice President Villegas. Good morning, everyone attending. I'm Devin Zatorsky with the Board of Public Works, taking role and establishing quorum. Today, we're joined by Vice President Villegas, President Pro Tem Davis, Commissioner Grant, and Commissioner Reyes. We're also joined by our City Attorney Representative, Miss Virginia Choi. And again, I'm Devin Zatorsky. Let's see, we have quite a few speaker cards today. So we have one speaker card in the room for general public comment. And then we have 9 speakers on the Zoom for general public comment. And we have a speaker for items 1, 2, 3, 2 for speaker 4, a speaker for 2 for 6, 2 for 5, 2 for 6, 2 for 7, 2 for 8, 2 for 9, 2 for 10, 3 for 11, 2 for 12, and 3 for 13. So I'll keep us on track when we get to each item.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right. And do we have general public comment as well?
We do, yes. We have 9 on the Zoom and 2 and 1 in the room.
Okay. All right. Why don't we take general public comment and neighborhood council comments at the end?
Okay.
And then for just our agenda business, I think we are going to be continuing for 2 weeks, items 8, 9, and 10. If we have staff here presenting on items 8, 9, and 10, just be cognizant that those 3 items have been continued for 2 weeks. Thank you. All right. Then moving on with our agenda, if I could get a second to my motion to approve the meeting minutes for September 25th, 2024.
So move.
All right, Ms. Satorsky, thank you. We have a motion by myself and a second by Commissioner Grant.
Great. We'll take the roll call starting with you, Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Grant and Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
Great. All ayes. The item is adopted.
Wonderful. Okay. Then let's do our presentation for today, our long-awaited presentation and a recognition for retirement for Tracy Minamede.
Oh.
And a huge congratulations for you. A big loss to the city and a big thank you on behalf of this city, but a continued success for Tracy for sure. And we're very delighted to be able to be here today, to be able to do this recognition for Tracy. I will turn this over to Barbara. I think you're in the audience, right?
Barbara.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Barbara Romero, LA Sanitation and Environment. We're here to honor our dear Tracy Minamede, who has been working at the city for 38 years. And behind me is some of our executive team and some of the people that have worked with her throughout the years are also here in the audience. And as I this morning when I woke up, I said, this is a good day, but this is also a very sad day for us. I came into the city over 10 years ago, and one of the first very warm welcomes that I received was from sanitation, and Tracy was one of those people that welcomed me to the city. Tracy is one of those people that you want on your team, and not only because she is very knowledgeable, very thorough, but most importantly, because she is always, because she's a leader, but a leader that, an effective leader, because you don't even realize that she's leading when she's doing her work. And Tracy has many contributions to the city, but I think the one that she has most contributed to the city is transforming the way we look at our wastewater in the city of Los Angeles. And we are at a time in our city, because of climate change and because of the drought, that we need to look at a way to become more resilient. And Tracy saw this over 3 decades ago. And we are just, as a city, collectively looking at the region, and she has been leading that effort. And as I said, she has been leading it quietly. Whenever I had what I thought was a great idea, she had already thought about it. She was already doing it. But as pleasant and as effective as she is, she allowed me to think it was my idea. And I think, so I just want to say personally that I want to say thank you to you and to your family for allowing us the privilege to have you even a couple more years than you probably wanted to stick around. But I thought it was important to make sure, because in Tracy's world, she has done the service not only to the city, but to sanitation. She could have just walked out and without recognition. That's why we needed to be here. And we thought, including the commissioners, thought it was important to recognize her wonderful contributions to the city. But I think from the city's perspective, I think what's important to also note, besides transforming and changing the way we're going to work with reform and transform our water system, is the people that she helped shape and the people that she's brought to sanitation behind her. And yesterday I spent the day at a water symposium, and a lot of the people that were there are people that she has impacted and mentored and basically helped shape their career paths in sanitation, but also for the city. So Tracy, we want to say thank you, and we hope you have a wonderful next couple decades of not only traveling, hiking, but most importantly, hopefully we can continue this partnership. And I'm looking forward to see the contributions you do in the coming years.
Well, good morning. This is my day to say thank you. And I want to start out by saying thank you to this board, to Commissioner Reyes, Commissioner Davis, Commissioner Villegas, Commissioner Corson. And I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to meet you, Commissioner Grant, just the other day. Thank you for your support and your guidance through all of these years. It's been a wild ride. I do want to specifically call out Susana Reyes. Thank you for being here with sanitation. I've so enjoyed just sitting next to you at all the meetings we've been at and just picking your brain and getting your insight. And on the personal side, I so enjoyed seeing, as I told you, all the pictures of you with your family at your recent recognition with Asian American architects and engineers. It makes you feel so connected to know a little bit about your family. And Commissioner Villegas, thank you so much for your support. I've enjoyed our trips up to Sacramento. I've so enjoyed getting to know you and your background and all that you did when you were up in Sacramento. It's again, I feel so much more connected and have appreciated the time that we've spent together. Again, I want to say thank you to the executive team. I think that we together have been able to face a lot of challenges and work through things. And I just so appreciate the team environment that we've had in sanitation. And finally, of course, I do really, really extend my gratitude to our director and general manager, Barbara. Where are you, Barb? There you are. Barbara, I just so appreciate our relationship, Barbara. And I can't tell you how much I have learned in the time that I've spent so closely with her. She brought in a new perspective, and how do I say this? Barbara has this very high emotional IQ. We've talked about it because I don't. I simply don't. I'm just black and white, and I don't see the nuances the way Barbara does.
Oh, yada, yada.
And so, in these last 3 years or so, this whole other half of my brain has just expanded, and I've learned how to look at things differently and how to better understand people's perspective, because that's what Barbara does. Is she really sees all the stakeholders and their perspectives, and has helped us to strategize and to work through everything so that in the end we're all coming together. And I've just learned so much. So thank you, Barbara, for really expanding my brain. I do want to introduce my family members who are here today. So my husband, Dave Wright, raise your hand. And 2 of my 4 sons are here. Brandon Kawaguchi, he's our oldest, and he actually works in the Bureau of Engineering, helping on stormwater projects. And then my son, Ryan, where's Ryan? Oh, there's Ryan. Ryan is supporting LA Sanitation part-time and doing a lot of work on the marketing and the outreach. And 2 of my sons could not be here today. Wesley, he lives up in Washington. And then my youngest son, Garrett, is at Texas A&M going to grad school. So they are here in spirit. And I also have 5 bonus kids and 5 bonus grandkids. So we have a large family and have quite a bit of fun together. But again, just did want to use this time today to say thank you to everybody. Thank you to all of those who are here today to send me off. And this career has been something I feel so fortunate to have had, because I have enjoyed all of it. It's like, I'm so fortunate to have had a job and a career that I've been dedicated to and felt like I was contributing and helping to move things forward. So it's been wonderful. And I do appreciate the whole team here and the whole effort that has been moving forward over the past 38 years at LA Sanitation and Environment. So thank you very much.
Well, congratulations. Big thank you to you. I will also let others from your executive team, Barbara, if anybody wants to speak, please do so at this time.
Hello, my name is Hee-Sang Kim, Acting Hyperion Manager. Many of you talked to me, I spoke to you. All the work at Hyperion, it's an exciting place, sewage doesn't stop at Hyperion. There's a lot of challenges and excitement. And, it is my passion to work at Hyperion, but I need to have support. And let me introduce Tracy is there, has been there all the time. I called her at night. I still remember in February this year, we had some issues, and we had to bring up the plant back to normal operation after some flooding challenges. She was there, answered the phone call immediately, and over the years it was just one example over and over. I reach out to her and ask for advice and ask for immediate resources. She was there helping me with dedication, passion, and care for employees and the organization, Los Angeles Sanitation and Hyperion. So putting all the things that I've seen her over the years, 38 years. I've been with her 38 years. She's the leader that I had to look up to. She was there all the time. And Tracy, thank you very much. I don't know how I can explain all the things that we've gone through together in 38 years. I want to make it short. Thank you very much. And be happy in your retirement. And we really appreciate it, especially me, from my heart. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Julie Allen, Assistant Director. I've worked with Tracy now for about 2.5 years since I've come over to sanitation, and I just really am going to miss her. She's just such a rock of knowledge, of expertise. She's very humble, and she just knows so much about the wastewater system, and it has been such a pleasure to learn from her, not only professionally, but personally. She's a wonderful, thoughtful person, and it's just been a joy to be able to work with her over the past 2.5 years. And I just wanted to share that I went to a wastewater conference with her, I think last January, and just the amount of respect and adoration of all of the industry professionals around California and the wastewater industry. You can see how much they respect her and appreciate her input in this industry. And so it's not only a loss for us in sanitation, but across California and the wastewater industry. So I'm very happy that she's getting to move on with the next stage of her life. She's earned it after 38 years with the city. That's an incredible career. And I just want to say thank you. And I'm going to miss you, Tracy.
Good morning, Commissioners. Nicole Burnson, also Assistant Director. I have worked with Tracy for over 20 years now, most of it on the council side, only the last 3 at sanitation. And I just have to say that I respect so much your knowledge, your experience, and also your generosity of sharing that with others, but in particular me. I learned everything I know about biosolids from you, which actually has carried me quite far. And I also want to say I appreciate how much time you devoted and how much you were personally involved in the outreach for our rate case that we recently made, especially with the formal presentations. It was absolutely invaluable. Congratulations on your retirement and best of luck in this next phase of your career. I look forward to hearing many great things.
Good morning. Sarai Baga. I'm the Chief Financial Officer for sanitation. I've been here for a couple of years. Prior to that, I was at the CAO's office for about 21 years. I've known Tracy the majority of that time. We have on occasion been sparring partners in my prior role, which actually helped me formulate my cases a little bit better when I needed to, and also made me realize when I needed to take a step back and listen to what the department's perspective was. Tracy has been an invaluable member of the sanitation family, and you will be tremendously missed. It'll be huge shoes to try to fill. So good luck and much happiness in retirement.
And just want to say that like our other assistant directors are at meetings covering for me. Otherwise they would be here.
Of course.
They were scheduled to be here. But as you could see, She's not only well loved, but well respected by the executive team. And we are sorely going to miss her because she is kind of like, to me, she said I've expanded her brain. She expanded my wealth of knowledge. She has been a rock here for sanitation. So I don't know how we're going to replace her. And so I'm really sad that we are going to have, so bear with us because there's things that she was handling that people, as someone just said, she was humble. I think it was Julie. She was so humble that you don't even realize that, she's just handling the business of sanitation. So again, congratulations. And we look forward to hearing from you in the near future.
Yeah, congratulations. Thank you. Thank you so much, Barbara. Thank you so much to your executive team also for the kind words for Tracy, and congratulations to you indeed, Tracy. At this time, I'm just going to let Commissioner Reyes go first, and then we'll have Commissioner Davis and Commissioner Grant say their thank yous.
Okay, I try not to be teary-eyed here, but Tracy, we are going to miss you deeply. Tracy is a valuable asset to the city of Los Angeles, especially to the sanitation department. And I just want to emphasize that, Tracy, you may not think you're a role model, but you are. We are always pushing for women engineers to have that field be expanded. And I think you taking on the leadership has inspired a lot of other female engineers to aspire for a greater career here in the city of Los Angeles. And for that, I am eternally grateful because we do have that gap that we have to fulfill in order to ensure that our women engineers, that the field of engineering has more women and women leaders. As Barbara mentioned earlier, you have transformed wastewater. Not just now, we don't just, clean them and then have them go to the ocean. We are now reclaiming them. They are now a resource to the city of Los Angeles. And that transformation is huge. And you have led the way for the technology and the infrastructure and really the mindset about wastewater and water reclamation. So thank you for that again. And then lastly, we have this impression that Tracy is quiet, right? Humble, but still waters run deep. She's brilliant. She has this excellent mindset of putting things together and envisioning them, and being put to the test, she'll let you know and put you in your place and really tell you what's on her mind, and that really depicts the strength of her character and her brilliance in the career that she has aspired to be at. Wastewater, water is not something that is a field that people I want to be in water, wastewater. Tracy is in love with water, wastewater, and she will continue her advocacy for that. In fact, she leaves an indelible mark and legacy for the city of Los Angeles, and she will be remembered and missed for her expertise. Thank you, Tracy, for everything that you've done. Enjoy your retirement. I know you will be very busy again, but hey, let's continue whenever what we do for the passion that we are, pursuing for lifelong career. Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. Congratulations, Tracy, on your retirement. You look absolutely too young to retire, I must say. I've been here a decade and a year. And throughout that time, I am reminded of the outstanding leadership that you provide. And when I think of leadership in sanitation, I think of Tracy. And in fact, I think she is the face of outstanding leadership for sanitation. You have been efficient, and whenever you have given us briefings, it has been clear, and we understand precisely just what it is that the Bureau is presenting. So I think Barbara said that you were the rock, and also Commissioner Reyes said that you were a role model. I agree with both of those. And not only are you a role model for the Bureau of Sanitation, but you are a role model for leadership and for supervisors and directors and leaders throughout the city of Los Angeles. Congratulations, and we look forward to great things. Cannot be the end. You look like you have so much energy to do some other great things as well. So again, congratulations on your wonderful retirement, and we look forward to hearing from you in the near future.
Well, thank you so much. Commissioner Grant.
I think this is outrageous. How can you leave at the beginning of my tenure? Where am I going to find the mentor that I wanted? I just want to congratulate you. And it actually makes me proud to be part of the city administration that has generated leaders like you and all that's your contributions. Again, congratulations and best to you.
Thank you. Thank you. And Tracy, thank you so much again for all of your work, all of your dedication to the city. As your colleagues have said, always with a lot of humility. And I just can't believe that you're leaving. We truly will miss you. You have just filled a big, piece in the city of Los Angeles as we just go through these like growing pains and transitions, in the city. I know that you won't be far. We may still bug you. But thank you for all that you've done at the city of Los Angeles just throughout your entire career. So much patience and just dignity and a lot of like respect and admiration for you. A tremendous, tremendous like blessing and good luck to you. And thank you to your family also. Just a good example of what a woman engineer is, exemplifies. So a big congratulations. Thank you. We'll just take a 5-minute break so we can just take quick pictures and then we will resume.
Recording
We'll
stopped.
take pictures at the back. Yeah.
What are you doing, Teresa? You can't do this every time.
Jeez, oh, pizza. Yeah, you called that one, didn't you, Peter? I can't roll my eyes enough. That's okay. I just had my stupid comment get censored again. And it's my frickin' channel. I said, okay, good God, just shoot the horse. Yeah, I heard Henry. That's what I was saying. I knew he would. I said, watch, he'll go off. That's what I meant. Surprised Kenny didn't chime in too. It is ridiculous. Now, we haven't even hit agenda item 1, you guys. That was the prelude. No, No, he's on his own stream. He called in on his own, on his stream, on his Zoom. But I heard it on my on here. Yeah, he took himself off mute, and the whole world heard him. So yeah, it doesn't matter. I emailed you my number so that way you know it's me. But I kind of figured you probably, because I don't answer phone calls either unless I know who they are. Yep, KK. Yeah, I saw that. They do. They all send each other's texts. You can see it. Yeah, a couple. I mean, I know. Haggis, did I put that on a community page? I found the regulations for the sidewalks, and it's theirs, and they are not going by them. Okay, people, chop chop, or you're gonna have a very long day. You're gonna start getting overtime. You're gonna have to start working for your pay. Well, we haven't gone anywhere yet. Doesn't matter, so you'll catch up real quick. Oh, excuse me. See, the deal is that, they're doing this to punish us, to wait to the end, because they can, and it just pisses people off more and more, so then more people call. And it's just going to make it worse. They're creating their own punishment. It's already almost 2 o'clock here. I'm not gonna do another coffee. Thought I would wait till this got over. I figured it would be quicker before I did lunch, so now I'm gonna have to wait. Okay, people, chop chop, suey suey. A lot of people commenting, yeah. And then there's about 12 or 13 of us on the public comments.
So we have to find out. Yeah.
Think we need to resume our meeting. We will reconvene in a minute.
Yeah, right. Well, it doesn't matter. It did come through on here too. That's funny. That made me crack up. Okay, people, chop chop, let's go.
Okay. Yes, Ms. Satorsky, if you just take
Recording in
roll call.
progress.
In recording, and we're back at 10:45 a.m. from our break. We'll just establish a quick quorum again that everyone is here. Vice President Villegas, President Pro Tem Davis, Commissioner Grant, and Commissioner Reyes, and we have a quorum, and we can move on to the rest of our agenda.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, let's go on to item number 1. And I think we have Audit LA who's going to be speaking on item number 1.
Anybody else? Oh, yeah. I always forget. And just a reminder for the city attorney that I do compare, contrast, and discuss historical context for everything. Good morning. Welcome back, Commissioner Villegas. We had a great meeting last time. You did it the way that's so beneficial to the people. I thank you. But we're talking about number 1, staying on topic. I love that we're working on affordable housing because we need that. But right here, and we're talking about transportation infrastructure and transportation related amenities and improvements. We need that. We need it for our streets. We need it for our, being able to get on and off of easements, especially if you're like me in a chair and you rely on, like access paratransit. And so I'm going to ask that you please make sure that if they're going to be blocking any kind of easement, that they have the proper R permits and that it's done correctly. Because I'm so frustrated right now with 250 giant planters in a 3-block radius that I can't access. And I don't want to have to be frustrated if I ever need to visit Eldon Elms community. So I'm just asking you to please really be diligent with these things. Thank you. I yield back the rest of my time.
Right. Thank you for your comment. And Ms. Satorsky, do we have anyone on item number 1 for Zoom?
Yes, we do have one caller on the Zoom. Caller AG Bonta raised their hand for item number 1. So you can go ahead and unmute yourself, caller, and you will have 2 minutes for item number 1.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to understand, first of all, why item number 1 is moving before general public comment. It's clear yet again on the agenda, as it's stated, that public comment is taken before any agenda items. And you're refusing to do that. And this is relevant. This is on topic. And City Attorney, you know this violates the Brown Act, right? And you know there's prison time associated with violating that. And so I'm just confused here as a constituent as to why you repeatedly choose to do this. What could have been 3 minutes of your time is instead now going to be years of sentencing in a cold hard prison cell. It's just making no sense. It's a short-term win for you, but you don't understand the overall long-term repercussions, right? People are going to show up and protest your neighborhood. They're going to show flyers of you linking to these video clips violating the Brown Act. You particularly, Ms. Teresa. And people own your name as websites, and they're going to show that to your kids. They're going to show that to their soccer coaches, baseball coaches, and everybody else in between. You are a criminal. You're committing a unlawful violation right now, and you will face prison time for that. I just don't understand what more you need from us, the people, to make you witness and experience that firsthand so that it can actually click in your brain cells. You are a felon right now. This is disgusting, and shame on the rest of the board for not speaking out. You don't run this board, Ms. Teresa. You don't, okay? And Vice President or President Pro Tem Davis, you know better. You ran this meeting successfully last time, all right? And shame on you for not speaking out about it this time. What are you doing? Do you not think that you're culpable in this too? Because you are, sir. You are, all right? Federal suits are coming. You guys don't seem to understand this, that as if right now it hasn't happened.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you, Ms. Satorsky. Do we have anyone else?
No, that's the end of our public comment for item number 1.
Thank you. All right. Item number 1, and this is a bid received at 10 a.m. for the following public works project. And this is Affordable Housing and Sustainable Communities Round 3. Eldon Elms Sustainable Transportation Infrastructure and Transportation Related Amenities Improvement, and with a work order of E1908671, estimated value of $3,143,420 in Council District 1. And if you could please read those bids.
Great. We're opening the bids right now. We have 3 bids for this work order. Our first bid came in from Access Pacific Incorporated for a total of $4,391,500. That's $4,391,500.00. Our next bidder on this project is Halp Incorporated, doing business as Excel Paving, and their bid came in at $4,998,872. That's $4,998,872 for Halp Incorporated, doing business as Excel Paving. And our last bid for this project came from Green Building Corporation for a total of $5,919,280. That's 5,919,280.00.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Do we have a second to my motion to approve these bids? All right, Ms. Satorsky, we have a motion by myself and a second by Commissioner Reyes. If you could please take roll call.
Great. We'll take roll call starting with you, Vice President Vegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Grant.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
Great. All ayes. The item is adopted and carries forthwith.
Great. Thank you so much. All right, then let us move on then to item number 2. And for item number 2, we have public comment from Audit LA.
I remembered the microphone this one time, finally. Okay, again, we're here talking about sidewalks. One of my favorite topics. Well, actually not my favorite topic. I wish I could be home doing other things, and, I have a certification test to take and all kinds of things to do. But I have to come here because I just cannot take the fact that there's, we counted them. It's 250 planters, and these are not like little planters. Like, these are, maybe 3 feet and some are like 3 feet high and maybe 2-3 feet wide. And there's 250 of them there's 151 on L. Ron Hubbard, and the rest are on Fountain. And so when I'm looking here at sidewalk things for libraries, which is important, like we need sidewalks, but we need sidewalks like everywhere to be looked at, and make sure that there aren't all these planters, because I'm tired of coming here, guys. And I said it last time, you have the power based on complaints to initiate and to have things taken care of within your purview. So I'm asking you to pay really close attention to this at the library, because a lot of people, we don't want them tripping on broken sidewalks. We don't want here the excessive weight of all these planters that are not permitted, breaking the sidewalk. It is, and it's getting worse every time. I almost got flipped. If I get injured, which I've almost been flipped out on my chair a couple times, I've actually been stuck on the Fountain Avenue one because of these heavy planters. And if I got injured, it's leaving the city liable. And so I worry about that too at this at the library. And, as far as the money, at least they're not asking for more money. So that's good. With that, I yield back the rest of my time.
Thank you. All right. And Ms. Satorsky, do we have Zoom?
Yes, we
people on
do.
Zoom.
Caller AG Bonta on the line. Please go ahead and unmute yourself. You'll have 2 minutes.
I just wonder, when it comes to issues like public property, namely the sidewalks, at what point does it ever enter your psyche to feel ashamed that you are allowing an individual who has disabilities to needlessly suffer, and your kids are going to see this and watch you ruthlessly torment a wheelchair-bounded individual because you specifically chose to do the evil bidding of Scientology and allow them to destroy public property over and over again, and allow this individual before your very eyes today to be trapped there, and you have the authority to make a change. You are willfully allowing sheer evil and absolute destitution to fall onto your city. And your kids will see this. I guarantee you they will see this. And it's absolutely disgusting. I am disgusted by each and every one of you. And the only reason I show up here is to show the world how absolutely abhorrent you are. I can't stand the sight of any of you and your disgusting patterns of behavior. And the world sees it tenfold over. You think this is just going to magically go away, but it's not. And I know you think about us in your waking hours just before you go to sleep. I know you talk about us and how pissed off you are that you have to hear our voices, but we are here. And you are disgusting for allowing an individual with disabilities to suffer this way. And it's your doing. Shame on you, but I know you can't even feel that. So I am here to remind you of how absolutely disgusting you are for colluding with a
All right, well, then do we have any other items?
I'm gonna check. We had some new hands raised, so I just want to check and make sure we give
Okay.
everyone the opportunity.
And then if we can have the callers stick to the topic, right? We're talking about bids this morning? Yeah.
Let's check on these last two before we move on. And then I have a caller. Nisa, are you here to provide comment on any of our items today, item 2 or general public comment today? Okay, we'll come back to you. I guess not item 2. And then caller May Ann join later. Caller, do you have a comment on item number 2 or any of our items or general public comment today?
I have a general comment. Can you hear me?
Great. Yes, we're going to do that later. So just I grabbed your information
Okay,
down.
but this is about sidewalks.
Okay, so would you like to comment on item 2?
Yes. Is it about the library sidewalks?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I want to make a reference to about taking care of. You're talking about taking care of a library sidewalk, but what about the one on Fountain in front of Ada's Nail and Hair Salon at 4810 Fountain Avenue? The business is completely. There is no business, and some of them planters are over 5 feet long, and they've moved the planters even closer together. And I'm calling on behalf of Ada's Nail and Hair Salon that if you're going to take care of the library, why can't you take care of the sidewalks in front of the nail salon? There is no business because they can't get out of the cars, and the cars that are parked there, they have all Scientology has handicap stickers on them, and I can never. There's no way of parking cars and getting out of them. Thank you. I'll come back to public comment. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. All right, that's the end of our comments for item 2. We can move on to that.
Okay, then let's move on to item 2. And this is bids received at 10 a.m. for Public Works Project Sidewalk Repair Program number 71, library facilities with an estimated amount of $1,609,307 for Council Districts 6, 8, 10, 12, and 13.
Okay, great. Our first bid comes in from Axiom Group, and they have a bid total of $1,848,116.25. That's $1,848,116.25. Our next bid is PPC Construction Incorporated, and their bid comes in at a total of $1,972,867. That's $1,972,867. Our next bid is from Geronimo Concrete Incorporated. Their bid comes in at $1,600,730.50. That's $1,600,730.50. The next bid is from Addison Miller Incorporated. Their bid comes in at a total of $1,743,520.25. That's $1,743,520.25. And the next bid and final bid for this project is Access Pacific Incorporated with a total of $1,950,732. That's $1,950,732.00. That is the final bid for.
Thank you. Thank you for that. All right. And commissioners, can we please get a motion to approve this item?
Second.
All right. Ms. Tursky, we have a motion by Pro Tem Davis and a second by Commissioner Grant.
Great. Let's take roll call, starting with you, Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Grant.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
Wonderful. All ayes. The bids received, open, and declared, and moving this item forthwith.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. All right. I'm going to take things out of order today. I'm going to do our oral report for the Safe Clean Water and Stormwater Capture Program. But before we get to the Bureau of Sanitation, do we have, we do have a public comment on this item from Audit LA.
13, you're going to skip number 13. Yes, Vice President Villegas is going to take number 13 if you would like to provide your. Okay. And we also have one caller on the Zoom too as well after our in-person comment.
This is another hot topic for me. Our clean water, which we desperately need, and stormwater capture. I mean, I've spoken before that sometimes, we have issues with the water drainage, but I'm going to bring it back to these planners until they're gone or they're in proper check, proper permits, proper spacing. Because I like planters. I love it. I love the flowers. It attracts, bees, although they killed all the bees there, but when it comes to clean water, you guys are going to have to send out a hazmat team for these planters because they did unpermitted work and and their debris are in those planters. I guarantee it. You're going to find a lot of debris from construction and we don't know what's in that. We don't know if there's asbestos or lead. So when they are doing a safe, clean water and stormwater capture program, you have to not only look at, it's just what is going into this, like what we're at over 250 planters. If it's all debris that we don't know what's in it because it's not permitted, no one's checking it. No one's having, only the public's having eyes on it. We're the only ones who are very concerned about these planters for a myriad of reasons. I really suggest you get a hazmat team or somebody or an engineer or somebody to check it, alleviate or, when it comes to this, alleviate our minds and say, you know what? No, that's not hazardous. It's not going to hurt our clean water and stormwater capture program. It's good. And then I'll back off of that topic. Like I'll seriously back off on that. I'm not going to back off on the ADA one until that's fixed. I can't because I want access. And then I found out it's more blocks. It's like even beyond the 3 blocks. I think it's now 5 blocks. So they're adding it. They're encroaching on property that's not even theirs. And what about those neighbors? Do you think they want 30 stormwater? Thank you.
Thank you. We have some callers on our Zoom, so we'll go there. Yvonne, if you could go ahead and unmute yourself. We're on item number 13.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. You'll have 2 minutes.
Finally, I want to say, yes, the planters are an issue of my comments in this particular item. These planters will leach.
Caller, we're talking about the Safe Clean Water and
Yes, I understand that.
Program update, not about planters. If you can please
understand
to the
that.
topic,
But
this is your first warning.
Water.
You will be removed from the Zoom if you do not stick to the topic.
Excuse me.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will continue my comment. Safe water capture programs in each home should be built. The city should provide a bulk purchase of these types of systems and make them available, scattering out the resources throughout the city, which is prone to natural disasters. In addition, it is in the city's interest that wastewater trickling through planters in the city, not just on Scientology properties, should be tested and restricted from entering into the water table. Plant filtration systems cannot handle things like lead and asbestos. However, I do suggest you use them because they can handle things like Roundup and herbicides. Education is not enough in the public area regarding the use of herbicides and pesticides in terms of how it affects the water quality that is captured by these systems. I do not appreciate being interrupted. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Sorry. Our next caller is caller AG Bonta. We're on item 13. You'll have 2 minutes.
What do you think the LADWP does when it comes to water and sanitation related issues? And I will tell you on this item, I know Janice quite well, and I can tell you what she and her team do, which is absolutely nothing. You know how I know that? Because when I reported countless issues of disgusting handling of water, wastewater at the behest of Scientology dumping into the public sewage, you know what she said? She said it's a non-issue. And you know what? Janice gets paid $700,000 a year to be the lapdog of Scientology. She went to school, got her PE license simply to kiss ass for Scientology. And you think that's okay? Do you think anybody actually has any confidence in sanitation or DWP to actually handle these issues effectively? You guys collude with a Chomo cult, and I'm here to make sure you never forget it. I will be here every single meeting and soon to be in person to absolutely show the public how disgusting you guys treat the city and what disdain and resentment you
about the Safe Clean Water Program. Please stick to the topic.
About that program. I am on topic, Timu/topic Teresa. You don't understand how much of on topic I am right now. All right. Janice knows about me. Ask about me, because Janice right now is facing investigation for her collusion. You guys are just
the Safe Clean Water Program. If you can please stay on topic.
You guys are disgusting, and you're letting them do this to your city day in and day out. You have a power to change it for the better. And I'm ashamed of you, Pro Temp Davis.
This is the Safe Clean Water Program. We're going to be getting an update on this program. If you can please just stay on topic.
And what do you think DWP does with
That's 2 minutes.
Thank you.
That's the end of our Zoom public comments.
All right. Thank you. All right. Then we will have an oral report by LA Sanitation on this item. And before us.
Good morning, Board of Public Works Commissioner. My name is Mike Scudillo. I'm with the Bureau of Sanitation. Here to present and give a semi-annual update on our Safe Clean Water Program, also known as Measure W. And we'll piggyback off this effort. And as we start this new rainy season, which we just started, we'll talk about our proactive efforts and what you can expect us to be communicating.
If you could please just speak into the mic.
Sure. So real quick, go through here. Always want to give a little bit of background and context about why the Safe Clean Water Program exists from a regulatory standpoint. The city, and specifically LA Sanitation, is the permit holder for the stormwater program. We are currently tasked to meet compliance for 22 total maximum daily loads, ranging from those in Santa Monica Bay to LA River, Ballona Creek, and Dominguez Channel. We're a partner in six of those watershed management plans that demonstrate how we would achieve compliance. The estimated cost for compliance is $7.3 billion, and we're expected to manage 89,000 acre feet of stormwater when it does rain in order to meet that compliance. From the regulatory standpoint, we have noticed that the regional board has taken a more proactive effort on enforcement mechanisms. We just recently received a notice of violation for one of the TMDLs that we passed our due date on. And we're negotiating that compliance strategy with the regional board as we speak. We have a couple of special studies that we're working to help shape the regulations for future permit cycles. One is the zinc recirculation study that will adaptively manage how zinc is used as a compliance mechanism. We have a regional bacteria study that will help take a look at the bacteria standards along the different water bodies that we have. And we're actively partnering with services on a street sweeping study that will look at how we can maximize our minimum control measures in partnership with street services. We're also working with the state and providing some comments on the state schools permit. We feel LAUSD is a major landholder within the city and has a prime opportunity to help capture some of that stormwater in our projects. And so we're working with the state to see how we can incentivize partnerships with them. And we're also working with Caltrans on their permit to actively engage them as being a stakeholder in our projects, as they are a major contributor to some of the waterways. With that, I'll touch on some of the municipal program, and to realign those that are not familiar with the Safe Clean Water program. There's two sources of funding. That's municipal program, which is our local return that we get back, and we have discretion within the city how we use those funds. We've recently just started to implement projects, putting them in the ground. And in between the last time we reported, we had a groundbreaking for what we call Haynes Street Greenway project, which is located in CD3. It was a vacant parcel that was underutilized, and we're reshaping that parcel to make it greener, more friendlier for the residents. And it was a well-received project. We're about halfway through, and we'll be making sure that as that project comes to completion, we'll invite the board to that ribbon cutting ceremony as well. Where am I? There you go. Okay. So I want to touch on the municipal program, and I mentioned we do get a sizable chunk of money each year. We get about 36 million back that comes directly to the Bureau of Sanitation, and wanted to give you a little bit of insight about how we use that fund. Right now, currently, 60% of the fund is being used to implement projects. We have a portion of the fund set aside to help develop new projects. One of the things that we want to ensure is that the projects that are going to be moving forward are viable projects. So we're investing a lot more on the geotech and the survey to make sure that those projects are going to be good projects before we start to pursue funding. One thing to note about the program is we are not general fund reimbursed, and so we're fully subsidized. That gives us a little bit more discretion about how we invest our funds. We have a small chunk going to our operation and maintenance, which I could foresee over the next 10 years growing. We do have a number of projects that we completed under Proposition O that have been somewhat neglected, in that we haven't had the source of funding to implement or to do the O&M on those projects. On the administration side, a couple of things to highlight is we are scheduled to submit our end of the year annual plan to the county, and that's to demonstrate how we use the previous year's funding. Each April, we submit a plan on how we propose to use that funding. So this is a cyclical process that we must submit plans to the county to show that we're in compliance with our municipal program transfer agreement. One of the key things of the transfer agreement in this first cycle was that we had to conduct a self-reporting audit. So with the help of the Office of Accounting, we conducted that audit, and it did. There were some findings, recommendations, and I'm happy to say that it came back relatively good. A couple of things to tweak that we had already been proactive on making those adjustments. One of them was to make it a little bit more clear what those subcontracting requirements are as part of the program. We had proactively addressed that, but the audit period started. It took a look at when the program first started, so there was a little bit of gap in that. And then one of the other key findings was that some of the funds do go to our various departments like street services and Bureau of Engineering and contract administration. One of the findings was that we need to do a better job of making sure that we're keeping track of how those funds are being used. And so we've been proactively taking steps to implement measures to do that. And we're working to get semi-annual and quarterly reports on how they're using their funds. So with the conclusion of that audit, it did allow us to enter into the next transfer agreement. So these municipal transfer agreements are for 3 years. And we recently brought that to the Board of Public Works, and it was approved. And we're on the final steps of having the county approve that. That will allow us to continue to receive our $36 million of funding each year. I want to move over to the regional program. And the regional program, again, is a competitive program where each year we have to solicit applications for funding. Wanted to highlight a few of the major projects that we're moving forward with as a result of receiving funding from the regional program. The first one is MacArthur Park. We're finishing up the EIR certification, and that's at about 93% design. And so we're anticipating it going into construction early part of next year. And this is a great project for the community. It's been a lot of public outreach and engagement has taken place there in order to get the right project for the right fit for that area. Our next project is the Ballona Creek TMDL project. This is our largest project in our portfolio at $90 million. It is about 40% complete, and it will help us meet 80% of our dry weather bacteria TMDL for Ballona Creek. This is a great project. It has a lot of leverage funding from our partner agencies, Culver City, West Hollywood, Beverly Hills, the county, as well as some outside funding sources from Caltrans. We have another project, Angeles Mesa, which is a CD8 that's kicking off. And then really excited about this latest project, Hollenbeck Park. This is another park project that is in a community that has been somewhat underserved with the 5 freeway cutting that park in half. And so we're happy to announce that we've got $22 million in outside leverage funding to bring to that project, as well as some Prop-O funding. But we're really excited. We just conducted, in conjunction with the Bureau of Engineering, some interviews, and we'll be coming back to the board. I'm sure they're going to be coming back to the board to move that project forward and award it. I apologize, this is a little bit temperamental. We'll get Brett to do it. So wanted to give a highlight of where we finished off this last round of cycles for the regional program. We wanted to focus our attention on ensuring that our current list of projects that we had funded are fully funded before we continue to add to our new projects to our portfolio. So this round in the regional program was the first time that the county allowed project applicants to come back and ask for additional funding. One of the things that's unique about when the program took off, it was during the pandemic, and we've seen some high escalation as a result. So we took the opportunity to go back and ask for additional funds for existing projects and really limit what we were looking for in terms of new projects. With that, we, as a city, DWP, Street Services, and the LA Sanitation, were able to secure an additional $25 million for our existing projects, as well as add a few new projects to our portfolio. So moving forward, as we finishing up this round, this latest round, one thing that the program has done is it's really taken off. It took off very quickly. And in doing so, it allocated a lot of the future funds to those existing projects, which made it very difficult to add new projects to our portfolio. So in round 6, what we're moving forward with is a joint effort with Street Services on a scientific study for Street Services. That was funded in 2 of the 3 watersheds. Our plan is to go back and ask the Upper LA River watershed for that additional funding to really make this a regional effort. And we have a few smaller projects that we're working with some local NGOs on in a program that's called the Technical Resource Program. This is a program that allows community-based organizations, NGOs, to navigate the program. It is very difficult and challenging at times, but the county is finished a feasibility report on that potential project that could be seeking some additional funds. The one thing I would like to highlight is in 26-27, which is our current cycle, you can see that the funding does become very, very limited in some of these watersheds. And so we're refocusing our efforts here in the city to find future projects that could be good contenders on a more of a regional level. And so we're taking a little bit of a pause in trying to secure additional funds and really focus on delivering what we have on our plate right now. Looking forward to what those future projects could be, it ranges. One of the major key applications that we want to make sure we get in this cycle is the O&M for Ballona Creek TMDL project. One of the unique items of this regional program is it does allow applicants to go back and ask for O&M funds. And because the Ballona Creek project is a $90 million project, we expect that to be quite hefty on our O&M side. So rather than use our municipal funds, we feel it's a good compromise and ask to the regional program to get those funds from there. We are looking at a couple of other new projects that are in our queue. We've moved forward on a couple of them to see if they're valid, feasible projects. One of them is the Mission College project up on LA River, where we feel we can get some partnership money with DWP. As these projects are more than just stormwater projects in some cases, they are actually recharging the groundwater aquifer.
Did that reduce his, does it matter? Did that reduce his sound? Or is he still real loud?
Number of shade trees, projects in disadvantaged communities,
I'm
moving the
messing with
needle
the
towards
mixer.
compliance for water quality, and how much actual water supply benefits these projects are bringing. This is all something that the county is looking at this point, and looking at a larger regional planning effort in order to capture those metrics and monitoring efforts. Couple of things moving forward that are going to affect this program is finding the right project for the right program. They are currently changing the scoring criteria, and so that will ultimately impact the type of project that we would solicit for consideration in the future rounds. Here's a quick timeline about the county's adaptive management timeline. A couple of key points I'd like to point out is on the far left, you see the launch of the public engagement and public education and community engagement grant. This is a real opportunity for those NGOs and CBOs, nonprofits, to solicit grant applications to the county that would help highlight the projects to the community that are either moving forward or completed. One unique area that we're partnering on is potentially the Westwood Greenway Park, Westwood Greenway. This is a Prop O project that's been done, and it's been used as a demonstration project to share with other NGOs and local communities that are outside of that area in the west side, to show them that these are the type of projects that could happen in your community. And so we're working with them and a few other NGOs that could potentially we could partner with on grant opportunities for them. In the middle is the round regional program guidelines and additional pilot scoring. I mentioned that the program is going through a change in scoring, and we're monitoring that. That's going to impact how we package our future projects. And then in July is typically the call for projects on when we would submit those applications. One thing I would just remind the group is we work collectively with the working group, a Safe Clean Water working group, which is comprised of the mayor's office, Board of Public Works, all the council districts, DWP, and street services.
Is that
so
better?
whatever
Can you
direction we
hear me
do
now?
move in the program, we have to make sure that all our partners are aligned and on the same page. It's been very helpful to have that working group give us the guidance and recommendations along the way. Looking forward in the next 6 months, I mentioned we're planning to have the final municipal transfer agreement executed with the county. That'll allow us to continue bringing in that 36 million annually. And in December, we're submitting our annual report about how we spent the previous year's money with actual expenditures behind it.
Okay.
We're actively partnering
I'm
with
looking for a
and
good
soliciting
balance
ideas from
between
NGOs and
them
CBOs
yapping
on
like
which
crazy and being
projects
able to.
they might like to submit to the program.
Yeah,
And
there is a little bit of
going
a
into round
delay.
6, we're working with the county flood control district. Part of the adaptive management is to allow applicants to go back and ask for funds. This cycle, we're not planning to do that. With the limited funding that is available and the funding that we do have, I think we're in a good spot to move forward with our projects at this current stage. And then one note to note on is the program is run by the Regional Oversight Committee. That's a couple of members from different areas of interest. That Regional Oversight Committee is actively trying to quantify what the metrics and monitoring should take place for the program. We're on a subcommittee for water quality, and that's in partnership with the LA Regional Water Quality Control Board, so that we can actively identify how we're going to report the benefits of these projects. We're going to transition over to our wet weather preparedness. Much of what we do is also flood control related, and we are actively, as of yesterday, in the wet season. So we are proactively getting ready for that season. We have been for the last couple of months. We're not expecting, at least with NOAA, it's leaning slightly to above average year, which is typically about 15 inches. But what's concerning and what happens is when we get that is how we get that rain. If we get small doses of rain, we're okay. But when we get those heavy intensity storms, that's when we see a lot of damage, such as we saw last year. So in advance of that, what we typically do in sanitation is we go on wet weather preparedness mode. When we have a smaller storm, less than about an inch of rain, we will coordinate amongst all the divisions within our organization, and you can expect to receive a report once every 24 hours indicating what those what impacts sanitation has had as a result of that rain. On a heavier storm, when we're at anywhere between a ½ inch per hour to 3 inches, we will put out a report every 4 hours. And that's good to give you an indication about how our operations are handling the storm, whether or not we're having a lot of outages, concerns, everywhere from the treatment facilities to our stormwater infrastructure and wastewater infrastructure. And with that, I'll close with, on the proactive side, we've actively cleaned 40,000 catch basins in preparation for this rainy season, 51 debris basins that are really in the hills upstream. And we're also actively managing our emergency storm drain repair program. We have about $4 million each year where we can respond to emergency repairs, whether those are sinkholes or collapsed pipes. And we're still catching up from last year on some of these repairs. And we've seen that program grow from about $2 million a year to $4 million a year, which is an indication that some of our infrastructure program is long overdue for some upgrades. So with that, I'll pause for any questions.
Thank you so much for your report. It was very detailed. For those of us that work in this program regularly, we can follow. If you haven't done so already, I would recommend that you please brief Commissioner Grant just on the program and the ebbs and flows of it. Commissioners, do we have any questions on this item for Mr. Scaduto? I have a few questions. And if you could just provide either, starting out with number one, thank you for the handout. It just wasn't in our transmittal. So, I know these are like twice a year, right? That you come back to the board to report. Just make sure that this is in the transmittal. Today's agenda has over 1,000 pages, so it would just be another 1,015. But just make sure that this is in the transmittal so that the public is able to know about and follow along with what we're doing. You mentioned that our accounting program, that our accountants at the Board of Public Works provided assistance to do the audit for the Safe Clean Water program for the county. Is there any way for us to be able to see that report?
Absolutely. We did transmit the county. We did transmit the final report to the county as part of our compliance with the transfer agreement. It is a public document. It's posted on the county's website.
Okay.
We can definitely transmit if we haven't already.
Yeah. I'm just saying that because as a board, we come here to be able to approve such grants. You have a lot of projects going through, and we would like to work closely, this board with sanitation so that I don't have to go through the Safe Clean Water program that the county has, because I've gone through their website and it's a lot of links that I have to do. So I'm asking you if we can get a copy of that report. Absolutely. That would be beneficial for us as well. As somebody who follows this program diligently, I would like to see what kind of recommendations are included in there so that we can be more efficient, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you. All right. And I'm constantly telling LA County to make it more user-friendly. Their website as well, the Safe Clean Water program. My next question is from the regional program. just on round 6. And you mentioned that for fiscal year 26-27, the upper LA River watershed area, the WASC isn't going to have that much in funding. And I'm wondering, that depletion of that amount obviously is attributed to us, right? To the city of Los Angeles, because we did submit so many PMRs in the past. So when you're providing that information, I think it's our responsibility to also state that we are also ones that take responsibility on why that fiscal year 26-27 is so low, because we did submit at least 3 PMRs to the WASC. And so it takes ramifications for the future.
Will do.
All right. And then lastly, I will make this, I will take this opportunity and just state, Council District 5 still does not have a safe clean water project in their district. And I know that Katie and I worked on the actual language for the safe clean water program. So I'm just imploring to LA Sanitation. I know that you guys are working on that, but I would implore that you please do everything possible to bring that to fruition.
Noted.
It's ironic. All right. So do we have any other commissioners with questions? I guess not. Yeah, thank you for the report.
Thank you.
All right. And thank you to your staff and your entire team, Mr. Scaduto. All right, let's move on then to item number 3. Moment. Okay. Item number 3 is from the Bureau of Engineering in Council District 13. And I think we have a public comment from Audit LA, and this is construction budget and revised construction orders and change orders. Matthew and Stewart Company, and asking to the board to authorize a construction budget of $160,000, including contingency for the super expedited wastewater emergency rehabilitation for sewers program, Goodwin Avenue right-of-way. And number 2, authorize the city engineer to issue a revised construction order and change orders up to the authorized construction budget. And I read this in because I want our public comments to stick on topic. All right, so Audit LA, you are first if you'd like to speak on this issue.
My apologies. 6 minutes and 50 seconds left in your 10 minutes. Excluding the general public comment, that's another 2 minutes. You're very welcome.
All right.
We do have callers on the Zoom for item 3. So caller with the hand raised, AG Bonta, you'll have 2 minutes for your public comment for item number 3. Caller AG Bonta, if you can unmute yourself, you'll have 2 minutes. Otherwise, we're going to move on to the next caller. We'll come back. Okay, moving on to the next caller. We'll come back to you. Caller Nisa has your hand raised. Do you have a public comment on item number 3? Caller Nisa, if you have public comment on item number 3, you can go ahead. Okay, we'll come back if you do. Caller Concerned Citizen, hand raised. Do you have public comment on item number 3?
General public comment.
Okay, we'll get to general public comment. I'm going to lower everyone's hands. I have you marked down if you have general public comment. So one more time, I'm going to try caller AG Bonta, who requested public comment on item 3. You could go ahead and unmute yourself. You'll have 2 minutes.
I'm gonna yield, hold my time for the next item.
Thank you. That's the end of our public comment for item 3.
Thank you. All right. So Mr. Tolles, the floor is yours. Thank you.
All right, good morning, everyone. Ryan Tolles with the Wastewater Conveyance Construction Division of the Bureau of Engineering. And I'm here to seek approval for a construction budget of $160,000 for the super expedited wastewater emergency rehabilitation for sewers, Goodwin Avenue Project 3900. So this is an older request. The request from LA Sanitation actually dates back to March 18th of 2020. And the request was to address a blockage in a sewer drop connection that was at a maintenance hole 445-10-032. So just for clarity, when pipes come into a sewer structure, and if they come into a sewer structure at different elevations, a drop structure is used, which is essentially a vertical pipe that brings the flow down to the base of the structure, as opposed to allowing the flow to waterfall down into the structure. And that prevents the base of the structure from being damaged. So this drop connection, which is that vertical shaft, had a obstruction in it, which was causing blockage. And so that's what LA San wanted addressed. This project is located on Goodwin Avenue within a Department of Recreation and Parks property. And you could see that location on figure 1 of the report. The existing sewer pipe was constructed back in 1977. So in terms of age, it's not that old. It's an 8-inch diameter. It's 34 feet deep. And the scope of work, again, was to remove and replace this drop connection because of the obstruction. And we also, to do this work, had to replace a curb and gutter, as well as conduct a CCTV and remove and restore a property line fence. So that was the scope of work. And as I mentioned in the beginning, this project goes back to 2020 because there was a lot of challenges when it came to the planning of it. Part of the delay with getting the work started was gaining access through recreation and parks. And then another challenge was the fact that there was an LADWP power pole that was within our excavation area that had to be relocated. So all of those things had to take place before we were able to do our work. In terms of bidding, M&R was the lowest bid for this particular scope. M&R is the name of the contractor, but this project was actually awarded to Matthew and Stewart Company. And the reason that was done is because there was an adjacent project next to this that when you combined that cost of Matthew and Stewart and this project's cost together, Matthew and Stewart Company is actually the lowest cost. And rather than having multiple contractors out in a very small area at the same time, it was also more efficient to just have one contractor out there. So when we combined the projects together, Matthew and Stewart Company was the low bidder who was awarded the project. As we were digging and excavating this drop connection, we found that there was a steel reinforced concrete encasement essentially around the pipe. So if you look at figure 1 on the report, I think there's 2 images there. On the left-hand side, you'll see this concrete encasement that was surrounding the pipe structure. That's not typical, and that was unexpected. And so the contractor had to do some extra work to demolish and remove that. So as a result, when we realized that there was some extra work that was needing to be done, we requested an emergency budget authorization from our liaison commissioner for an amount of $250,000, more of in anticipation of needing the money. But fortunately, thanks to the fact that the work went faster than anticipated, we actually came in a lot under that. We're actually only needing an extra $10,000, which is the $160,000. That's the total budget to close this job. So after we excavated this drop pipe, we eventually found at the bottom there was a fire extinguisher that was causing the obstruction. And you'll see that in your report as well. The image to the right on figure 2 will show that fire extinguisher that was causing the obstruction. How did that get there? I don't know. But we did complete the work. The project is done now, and we're here just requesting for that $160,000 budget to issue change orders and close out the project. So I'm here to answer any questions you guys may have on this.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tolles, for that report. Commissioners, do we have any questions on this item?
I don't. I think the report has been crystal clear.
Yeah.
Is there a way
Appreciate
for
it. Thank you. All right, then do we have a motion to approve this item?
So
Is
moved.
there a way for me to give her your information? And
Mr. Torski, we have a motion by Pro Tem Davis and a second by Commissioner Reyes. Great. We will take roll call, starting with you, Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
All ayes. The item is adopted and carries
No, my
forthwith.
name is Mona.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Tills.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
let's move on then to item number 3, and I will read this item in for the record. Excuse me, you're right. Thank you for that correction. Bureau of Street Services, and this is item number 4, and this is in Council District 8, revised task order solicitation number 701, Kimley Horn and Associates Incorporated, recommending that the board revise the funding source amount for the Safe Clean Water Fund 63F, Department 50, APPR number 50 VAEK from $1,256,260 to $886,000 to reflect the actual amount dispersed by the Safe Clean Water Program. Number 2, revise the Transportation Grant Fund 655, Department number 94, appropriate number 94ST1J from $5,317,802 to $5,007,071.12 to reflect the actual grant amount received to pay the consultant. And 3, revise the Road Maintenance Repair Program Fund 59V, Department 50, appropriated number 50YZBI from $631,466.65 to $1,312,457.53 in order to pay consultants for ATP and Measure W design services. The total requested amount remains at $7,296,528.65 as previously approved in the adopted board report dated May 31st, 2024. And before us, we have Miss Gina, but I think we have, Miss Gina Lang, and I think we have public comment on this item. And Miss Audit LA, if you could please stick to the topic on this item.
I'm always on topic. Thank you.
Right. Thank you much. And I will give
Bureau of
Nancy
Street
this
Services, they
information.
usually get my ire. They're not my favorite, but you know what? I'm going to give them a lot of credit right here because it looks like they're going under budget, which makes me very happy. So, good job, Bureau of Street Services. Because as I've said before, in comparison, also on topic, LAPD gets the lion's share of our funding and everyone else has to grasp at the rest. And so the fact that you're listening to the people and coming under budget, thank you.
Thank you. We have 2 comments on the Zoom too. Yvonne, we're on item number 4. If you could go ahead and unmute yourself, you'll have 2 minutes for item number 4.
Thank you. I would also appreciate the comment that Audit made that this is one of the rare occasions when a department comes back and says we don't need as much money. That's a very good sign for that department. In addition, I would like to suggest that that department look seriously at the necessity to provide public resources or access to public toilets so that the water quality entering into the stream of the water cycle is not polluted and can be a reduction in the biological hazards downstream. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Our next caller for item number 4 is caller AG Bonta. You'll have 2 minutes for your public comment.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You'll have 2 minutes.
Yeah, well, I'll pass on this item too. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. That's the end of our general public comment or public comments for item number 4.
Great, thank you. All right, Ms. Gina Lang, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Gina Lang with Bureau Street Services, landscape architect. This item before you is to update the board authority of the funding source and the amounts for the Broadway Manchester Active Transportation Project, also known as Broadway SUR. It is a little bit background about the project. It is a 2.8-mile project located on Manchester from Vermont to South Broadway, and then also on Broadway from Manchester to Imperial Highway. It is located within Council District 8 in a disadvantaged community. It is CDA's flagship project. It is also Streets LA's one of the largest active transportation project we have currently doing right now. It is important because it integrates a holistic approach of design, gray, green, and blue, which basically is transportation, urban greening, and stormwater quality all into one project. This project is very important to us because it will basically change the livelihood of the community. And Kimley Horn is our consultant who's been working on this project. We are trying to finalize the design package by the end of the year. Due to the funding availability, we're asking to basically use another fund to continue payment for their consultant fees. One of the funding source that we have, which is the Save Clean Water, as of today, we have received $886,000 out of the approved budget, $1,256,260. So there's a balance of $370,260 that we currently don't have. It is in the process, but we don't have that in hand. The second funding is the Active Transportation Grant Fund. The board previously approved $5,317,802. Due to the time required to process the fee from Caltrans, we need the balance of the money. We've only received about $5 million. So the balance of that is $310,730.88. So if you combine those two balances that we don't have, which totals about $680,990.88, we need that immediately in order to pay for our consultant. So I'm here today to ask the board to basically reshuffle the fund and use the road maintenance repair program fund to pay for this consulting fee. The total amount will not change as previously approved, $7.2 million. It's just paying the shortfall of the $680,000. The project schedule right now, as I mentioned, it is at the tail end of the design package. We hope to finalize the design by end of this year, going out to bid and for construction. Hopefully we will get this project done by 2028. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners, do we have any questions on this item? Don't think we have any. Thank you for those clarifications. I'm glad this project is still going forward. All right, and Kimley Horn has been a big partner in this effort. Commissioners, do we have a motion to approve this item?
So move. Second.
All right, so we have a motion by Commissioner Grant and a second by Pro Tem Davis.
Great. We'll take the roll call starting with you, Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Grant.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
Wonderful. All ayes. The item is adopted and carries forthwith.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Let's move on then to item number 5.
And item number 5 has been rescheduled to Friday.
Okay.
So I don't know if that made it prior to the agenda, but we'll say it now. Item 5 has been rescheduled to this Friday's agenda, so we can.
All right, that's October 18th. Thank
Correct.
you.
Thank you for clarifying.
All right, then let's move on to item number 6. And I will read this item in for the record. This is item number 6, and this is a joint report with BOE and Bureau of Senate Street Services, Council District 11, request for revocable permit, 313 East Grand Boulevard, recommending that the board authorize the city engineer to a revocable permit to encroach within the public right-of-way behind the curb along Grand Avenue, Windward Avenue, Riviera Avenue, abutting the property at 313 East Grand Boulevard, subject to the conditions listed. The property owners shall execute the attached waiver of damages agreement and submit the notarized copy to the Bureau of Engineering, West Los Angeles District Office, located at 1828 Sawtelle Boulevard, 3rd floor, our permit counter, for review with the county recorder. The property owner shall provide liability and property damage insurance satisfactory to the city attorney, coverage amount of $1 million. Evidence of insurance must be presented annually to the board. The plans for the landscaping and irrigation shall be reviewed and approved by Bureau of Street Services. The property owner shall obtain a city engineer R permit at 1828 Sawtelle Boulevard. And the next item is the existing planters become deteriorated or in the need of repair. They will be required to be removed, or it will be noted that BOE is in support of a standard on-grade parkways along the curb. However, if the new planters are proposed instead of a standard on-grade parkway, then they shall be installed with BOE's approved materials and subject to the required R permit policy for sidewalk encroachment under the new R permit application. The design and the construction of the new planters within the public right-of-way shall comply with appropriate permit procedures, including any necessary inspections. The property owners shall obtain an A permit to do the construction from the West LA District Office.
You really
The
gotta
property
be
owner or
frickin'
the
kidding
applicant
me.
shall submit a customer service request to BOE West LA District Office with most recent pictures of the planters every 6 months after the R permit is issued. BOE West LA District Office shall forward these pictures to Bureau of Street Services and Bureau of Contract Administration if they
This is
determine an
like
investigation or
ironically
an
funny.
inspection
This
is
is a
required.
comedy of errors.
A CSR can be submitted by using the following link that's included. The conditions herein must be accomplished and the permit shall be issued within 1 year of the notification of the approved by this report. Encroachment existing 59 18-inch high wood planters and drought tolerant plant material. All right, and we have Audit LA speaking on this item.
And before that, we have a public comment or a comment card from the Council District 11 in support of this item. So if the council district's here, we'll let them go first. Yeah.
Thank you for that. Good morning, Vice President Villegas, honorable members of the board. My name is Sean Silva. I'm speaking on behalf of the Office of Councilman Tracy Park. Thank you for making time for me.
You're with Council District 11?
Tracy Park, correct, yeah.
Okay, then this is incorrect on our, excuse me. I was making the mistake that this was in Council District 6. Okay, for some reason I've read so many, the previous item was at number 6. My apologies for interrupting
But all right.
you. Go right
Thank
ahead.
you. No problem. Thank you for the opportunity to address the board. I'm speaking to express our support for item 6, the request for the revocable permit in the vicinity of Venice Post Office. We support staff's recommendations and believe that the issuance of this permit, which has broad community support, will have a salutary effect on the neighborhood. Thank you for your time and consideration of our comments.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we can move on to
Okay. All right. if
Audit
we-
LA, and then we'll do our Zoom comments.
Great. If we want to have Audit LA speak.
I feel like starting with, well. So when it comes to planters, there is such a thing as our permits and applications and approvals and inspections and a whole laying out of the rules. I would like to know why this kind gentleman here, from what I hear, they were, was it fined or, given citations? For a planner situation where I heard this kind of situation before. And what did they do? He went through the proper process and, because a lot of times people don't know what the process is, but he went through the process. He applied for his R permits. He's doing everything correct. And I say, I'm here in support of him. I'm saying, please approve this. But then I'm also asking you if he could have been fined for, whatever, or cited because he wasn't in the correct way at the beginning, because it's lack of knowledge. Not everyone knows that. Why can't you do this for Scientology? Because, maybe they don't know. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. They don't know that they can apply for an R permit so that we can have eyes on those planters. Like you say right there, it has to be properly maintained. If they become deteriorated, it's up to it needs to be inspected. They need to, be careful of the sidewalk encroachment, all these things. And I trust that this gentleman's going to do it. He's an honorable man, I can tell, but, let's hope that maybe Scientology will do the right thing if given the chance. But if you don't let them know that they're in error, that they're breaking federal laws, then how will we? I'm on topic.
Let's just
this
stick to
is
the
on.
topic. This one
is called comparison and contrasting, right? Because we're talking about planters on easements, right, ma'am?
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm allowed to. I'm comparing and contrasting. Okay, because it's called equal application of the law. We're talking fundamental fairness. It's not fair to have this gentleman be fined or rebuked and all these rules laid down on him when he's doing the right thing.
Thank you, ma'am. That's 2 minutes.
Look, I hope you get it, because I love seeing people doing the right thing. Thank you.
All right. So do we have any callers on Zoom, please?
We have 2 public comments, and then we have caller Russ, who, if you have general public comment, you'll have 2 minutes. But if you're part of the application team, as this gentleman is here, the applicant, so is here today too for item number 6. So we'll go with caller AG Bonta first, and then Yvonne. So caller AG Bonta, if you would like to speak on this item, you'll have 2 minutes.
Do you know that your own city controller for this agenda item has publicly stated that because of negligence like the board is enacting today, the city has already run up its course on liability insurance? And you know why that is? It is because of these very same meetings that you continue to recklessly run roughshod through the public's voice and not hear very legitimate concerns. Your own city controller is desperately trying to rein in that incredibly just absurd spending, hemorrhaging left and right, because you guys.
Stay on topic. This is for a request of revocable permit at 316 East Grand Boulevard.
This is the process to review such permits is causing the city to rack up millions of dollars in liability costs. And it is because you fail to do due diligence. And this permit is one of millions of examples. This gentleman here might not know it, but Kenneth Mejia is absolutely up to his neck with just ridiculousness like this. Kenneth Mejia, your own city controller, is disgusted by your behavior. Your own city controller.
Again, this is a request for revocable permit, 313 East Grand Boulevard.
He cannot even tolerate the fact that you won't even go through similar due diligence for other folks that need to obtain a similar revocable permit, and instead you just automatically grant it and hope and pray that nobody will ever come back to see who the person assigned it was, who the person receiving the application was, and seeing that no due diligence was applied. You are literally bleeding the city budget dry.
2 minutes.
Board.
Our next public commenter is Yvonne. You'll have 2 minutes on item number 6.
Thank you. I'd invite the board to experience the world as I see it. Tape one eye closed and wear a pair of your glasses and put a great big Band-Aid in the middle of it. This is what's going to bring me around to saying,
please. This is a request for a revocable.
Yes, I understand that, and I want to lead in to explain my objection to these planters in this permit. The planters are parked, some of the planters are parked in a red zone that is for bus offloading and onloading. As a visually impaired person, navigating this curb and this sidewalk is extremely difficult. The sidewalk is above the curb, creating a tripping point. The curb is painted red and it says clearly on it, bus parking only, no stopping. Those planters create a tripping hazard and a bottleneck to bus services and for people with visual impairments. Please at least require this to go back to the department suggesting approval of these planters, that those in front of the bus stop be removed immediately. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Our next caller on the line is Russ. You can go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. I am a 30-year plus resident of Venice. I'm a landscape architect. I work with the Venice Verdant Committee in their efforts to plant hundreds of trees and maintain them in the streets of Venice. I've been calling in support of the planters for a couple reasons. These are installed by the neighbors at the neighbors' expense, and they're maintained by monthly contributions at no cost to the city. The planters are filled with drought-tolerant plants, and they conform to all ADA clearances and requirements. We've met with the city officials a dozen times about this. There is no bus loading in the area that the prior caller was talking about. The planters have dramatically improved the quality of life in our neighborhood, and their continued maintenance keeps the sidewalks clear of trash, debris, and obstructions. Again, I am calling in support of this permit, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, caller. All right, that is the end of our public comments for item number 6. We
Okay.
have staff and we have the applicant here.
Okay, and we have do we have any other public comments? You said that was it, right?
That was it, yes.
Okay.
We have the applicant too available though,
Okay,
but they're not required to the public comment 2 minutes.
correct. All right, why don't we have the Bureau of Engineering present on this item? Tanat, if you can please, yeah, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good morning. Tanat Satikit, Bureau of Engineering. The item before you is requesting the board for revocable permission to encroach into the public right-of-way with existing 59 18-inch high wood planters and drought-tolerant plants. The subject property is located at 313 East Grand Boulevard in Venice, adjacent to the United States Postal Service, or USPS, in Coastal District 11. The applicant is the Venice Stakeholders Association, who is submitting the application on behalf of the USPS. As a quick history, in May 2018, the planters were installed without a BOE permit by the Venice Stakeholders Association behind the curb along Grand Boulevard, Windward Avenue, and Rivera Avenue, abutting the subject property. In January 2020, the Investigation Enforcement Division of Streets LA sent a notice of violation to the applicant due to the fact that the planters were installed without a revocable permit. After the applicant began applying for the all-permit application, BOE informed the applicant of the sidewalk encroachment policy and recommended to have standard on-grade parkways instead of the planters. However, as informed by the applicant, due to limited funding, the applicant has proposed to keep the planters while maintaining the clear path of travel. Now, based on the BOE's review, the existing planters still allow for 5 feet clear path of travel on all 3 streets. In addition to that, the applicant is required to perform a routine trimming to maintain the plants under 18 inches in height as required by Streets LA. BOE has identified 2 areas of concerns. 1, Wood planters are not standard materials that BOE would typically allow due to rot and splinters. 2, the existing concrete sidewalk pavement adjacent to the tree wells are uplifted due to the tree roots and have vertical displacement exceeding 1/4 of an inch. Now, it should be noted that BOE is in support of standard on-grade parkways along the curb. Because since the planters have already been installed, it is recommended to allow them to remain as a one-time use that should not be a permanent installation. Subsequently, if the planters are damaged or in need of repair, they will need to be removed. However, if the applicant chooses to replace the planters, the new planters will need to be BOE approved materials and be subject to the requirements of the sidewalk encroachment policy under a new R permit application. Lastly, to monitor the condition of the planters, the applicant shall submit a customer service request to BOE with the most recent pictures of the planters every 6 months after receiving the revocable permit. Therefore, subject to meeting the conditions of this report, it is recommended to granting the city engineer's authority to issue a revocable permit as a one-time use. Council District 11 has been informed and has been in support of the request and BE recommendations. This concludes my presentation, and I'm open to any questions you may have.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Commissioners, do we have questions on this item? All right, I do. I have some questions. And since we have the applicant here, please come to the podium. Thank you for coming to our board meeting. Appreciate your presence and your participation. I just wanted to ask, and just for the edification of the public, since we do have some folks on Zoom that listen to our meetings, how long have these planters been there?
Could I make a presentation, ma'am?
Excuse me?
Could I make an actual presentation?
Yeah.
To your board?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. My name is Mark Ryavec. I'm president of the Venice Stakeholders Association. We're a legal nonprofit 501c3 corporation. We've been around for 15 years. We were formed when we worked with former late councilman Bill Rosendahl to pass a Venice-specific ordinance to ban oversized vehicles, and we did accomplish that. And over a period of time, the city removed 250 RVs and campers. Since we had the nonprofit, we kept working on public safety and beautification projects over the last 15 years. Back in that March of 2018, we had a situation where campers had taken over all of Grand. There was no ADA passage. We would call LAPD and ask them to come out and restore ADA passage. They would come, and then it would get filled up again. And there are also other attendant problems with people using our alleys for their latrines, trash, sexual catcalling to young kids. There were a lot of problems. We had a meeting with the residents and Captain John Roberts, patrol captain for Pacific Division, with Senior Lead Officer Delatorre, and with Mr. Silva's predecessor, Taylor Baisley. There were about 25 residents and those officials, and they recommended we put in planter boxes. They pointed to wood planter boxes that were already installed in Oakwood and already installed at 3rd and Sunset. We copied that design. We took from the LAPD their instructions: 5 feet clear sidewalk, breaks between the boxes so there was access from the curb, from the street, from cars. And again, we copied what was already in place in Venice and frankly are still in place in Venice that have never been cited. And again, I asked in that meeting, Mr. Baisley, do we need a permit? He said, well, yeah, technically, but don't worry about it. He literally said, we don't go around looking for projects like this to cite. A year later, we got cited. Each one of the boxes, we appealed to Adel Haj Khalil, the then head of street services. He came and met with us and he said, we will not touch them and allow you to apply for a revocable permit. We applied at our expense for a revocable permit. Mr. Russ Kletter, who you just heard, our landscape architect, did all the plans. I raised the money for the cost of the permit. About a year and a half later, your West LA district office, the head of it, approved our revocable permit, but it had to come down to you. On the way coming down to you, somebody said, "Oh no, this is so complicated. This is such a big project. It needs tertiary review." Cost us another $2,000, and it slowed it down for another 3 years. And the problem was that previous engineers tried to require us to fix the problems in the parkway caused by the tree roots, not the sidewalk. None of the sidewalks are uplifted. Just these are very large sidewalks. In one case, they're 13 feet. Another case, they're 10 feet. Sidewalks have not been affected by the tree roots, but the parkway concrete has. And initially, your BOE wanted us to move the boxes, take out all the broken concrete, expand the tree wells, because the trees, which I helped plant 30 years ago, are now huge. They're Italian stone pines. There are 21 of them. And then put the planter boxes back. The cost implications and the initial project cost us $35,000 at cost. Imagine 50 residents coming out over 2 weekends, filling up planter boxes with dirt, planting plants, many that they donated themselves, and then keeping them watered. And every year I raise $4,000 for our gardener to prune them and to trim them and to water them. And we're still doing that. So, and it hung up on that and the fact that your Bureau of Engineering did not like wood, even though we'd been told by the police to copy those wood planter boxes. Until Mr. Tanat Sadikit, if I had that right, got assigned this project, and he showed a little sympathy to the limits of a little nonprofit in Venice. Did we make some headway? And then we got a change in the council office, which also helped. As you saw, the council office is supporting us as opposed to the previous council member who did not. We finally have reached some conditions that we can live with. And again, I want you to understand, this is not just the Venice Post Office. This is a huge sorting station for the West Side for UPSS, the Postal Service. There are 40 carrier trucks there. So this is a big expanse. That's why we have, now 59 planter boxes. Over that period of time, we have had one complaint, and that came from Spectrum, because one of our planter boxes is where their technicians needed to put a ladder to access a control panel up high on a pole. And so they contacted us. We went out, we split that planter box in half, and we moved it, and we created the pad for them. That is the only complaint we've ever had. I also want to respond to the speaker. I appreciate her concern if in fact that was the case. The reality is that this is not an onloading, offloading bus zone. This is a bus break taking layover zone. The only people getting off of those buses are the drivers. So I don't think we have an ADA a problem. We don't have any passengers getting off the buses. So there's no reason to remove. The other thing is that we always have maintained, and Tanat has drilled down on this, we have to maintain at least 4 feet between all the boxes. So someone like my friend who had a stroke and is a walker doesn't want to have to walk 50 feet to find a break to get to a sidewalk. He wants to be able to find one within a few feet. So we have a break of at least 4 feet between every, and sometimes 5 feet between each planter box. So people who need to get to the sidewalk can easily access a sidewalk. And again, none of these planter boxes have ever been on a sidewalk. And we have been in conformity with the conditions that you have in the report for over a year since we met with Tanat and his staff, and they, made very clear what the conditions were. So I also, finally, on behalf of Russ and myself, I want to say how much I admire your patience in putting up with these terrible, obnoxious rants that I heard this morning. It really should not be part of your public service. And we admire you for the aplomb with which you do get through it all. And finally, I just want to mention that I'm an old hand here. I started my career in public affairs downstairs when that was the Chief Legislative Analyst's office. I'm sure some of you remember the name Avak Katanian. Does that ring a bell? Avak and I started in the CLA's office at the same time, or roughly the same time, but he stayed all the way until he retired just recently. So unless you have any questions, and I'm sorry if I was long, but this has been a very torturous path. And until Tanat came along and a new council person came along, and we were able to sit down and sort out the city's concerns and our limitations, because we priced out what it would cost for us to move the boxes, repave the parkway, not the sidewalk, and then put the box. We're over $100,000. And we already have invested $35,000 in the product that we currently have out there. So thank you for your forbearance.
Well, thank you so much. I'm glad that you came and spoke today and we're able to give some more context. We do take a lot of pride in our employees also that take the time to visit the site and, visit, folks like yourself and and the residents from Venice to be able to, explain and just bring everything up to code. I'm sorry that it's taken this long. It's been too arduous, and it's a testament to your organization, your nonprofit that keeps on raising funds to be able to beautify your community. And we appreciate that.
Not our
Thank
only project. I do have to make one footnote, which is to say that I'm appearing uncompensated. If I were compensated my earlier rate of $350 an hour when I was working as a lobbyist, I would have to raise a lot more money.
Yeah.
And so my board and I just decided that I would do this as a donation and a labor of love.
Thank you. Thank you. Right. And commissioners, do you have a question for Tim Davis?
No, I'm ready to move.
All right. Is that a motion?
Yes.
All right. All right. We have a motion by
papers.
Oh,
Here.
okay. We have a motion by Pro Tem Davis and a second by Commissioner Grant.
Great. We'll take the roll call starting with you, Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Grant.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes. Wonderful. All ayes. The item is adopted and carries forthwith.
Wonderful. Thank you. And thank you to the council office also for joining us this morning.
This is just
All
pissing
right.
me off.
Then let's move on then to item number 7. And item number 7 is also a joint report with BOE and Street Services, and it's for all council districts. And it's a contract amendment number 2 with University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA, recommending that the board, number 1, approve and forward this report with transmittals to the mayor, requesting the following. Approve amendment number 2 to the agreement, to agreement number 2022048 between City of Los Angeles and UCLA to add a 1-year extension time from October 31st, 2024 to October 31st, 2025 for phase 2, year 3 of the study. And B, authorize the president or 2 members of the board to execute agreement number 1. And for item number 7, Abdullah? Oh, we have public comment. I'm sorry. Just give me a moment. Thank you. So we have public comment from Audit LA. And
okay, we'll skip.
All right. And then do we have callers on Zoom?
We do. Caller.
Okay. And if I can just remind the callers on Zoom if they can stick to the topic.
Caller AG, if you would like to speak on item number 7, you'll have 2 minutes.
Yeah, so this amendment is a particular issue because on the same grounds that UCLA is requesting public services upon, the LAPD had the audacity to tell Palestinian protesters that this is a private piece of property and henceforth use that as one of their justifications to actually shut down the encampment. So I don't understand how a public agenda item for the Board of Public Works to come by whereby the UCLA is requesting
Please
public
stick to the
funds.
item at hand. This is amendment number 2 with UCLA. It has
Yeah,
nothing
this
to
is
do with
about
encampments.
amendment number 2, right? How is it that you're issuing public funds for Public Works to go and conduct a investigation on alleged private land, but at the same time, students on their own campgrounds are being told that it's private property and being threatened to be arrested, and many of which whom were also arrested for protesting peacefully, I might add you, in defense of Palestine. It's disgusting.
This is not on that. Please, this is the third time that I have to remind you. Please stick to the topic at hand. This is a contract amendment number 2 with UCLA and with the city of Los Angeles on the study on the city's hillside streets.
Continue to try to claim
All right.
easements of
I have
their own.
I have requested 3 times, so I will cut your time. Please
and you know
get him
it.
off the line. Thank you. All right. Do we have any other Zoom callers? No. All right. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. Good afternoon. My name is Abdullah Sadazai. I'm with Bureau of Engineering.
Just speak into the mic.
I'm with Bureau of Engineering, Valley District Office. Before you, I have a board report to execute a contract amendment number 2 with University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA, to add no cost 1-year time extension to perform phase 2, which is year 3, service for the phase comprehensive study to assess hillside streets in response to council file numbers 18114 and 171143. The contract is set to expire this October 31st. However, with the extension of the 1 year, it will set the contract to expire in October 31st, 2025. The original board report was adopted on June 3rd, 2022 in response to these 2 council files I mentioned. The council files instructed BOE and Street Delay to report on the hillside street segments, which included streets that were previously withdrawn for public use, those within the hillside network that were currently not being maintained, and those within the hillside areas that were maintained but may require capital improvement projects. Therefore, BOE entered into contract with UCLA to do a phased comprehensive study of these hillside streets. During first and second year, UCLA did a lot of data collections and developed a web-based tool called Hillside Street Prioritization Application, also known as HSPA. It includes geometry, pavement condition, curbs, sidewalks, roadway designations, and also to assess the impact of individual road sections on the entire network. They developed a graphic algorithm that utilizes travel times and obtained from the distance matrix. This phase 2 planned activities will include adding crucial cost estimating components to the tool, to the application, integrate evacuation routes into importance matrix, additional integrating equality consideration to the tool, and finally delivering a full functional decision support tool which can be used by the city beyond the project's completion. This concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Just for the public's edification, if you could go into the need for doing this study, you're saying it's an assessment, correct, with UCLA, where they will be reviewing all of our hillside streets. And as our board report indicates, I realize that it's buried in our report on page 885. It shows that it's doing this assessment so that they can resurface some of those streets that are difficult to get to. So I'm asking if you could just please provide additional context so that the public knows what this study is for. If we're asking them for another year, I will also ask, what have they provided thus far?
Sure. So Council File 18114, the Bureau of Street Services had conducted a preliminary review of the hillside streets and determined that many of the streets require significant engineering and design. Resurfacing, reconstruction of this will require a more thorough assessment of their conditions and multi-year capital improvements to adjust the blockage. So therefore, like even though they want to maintain them, they couldn't maintain them until they do some sort of capital improvement projects. So they couldn't resurface. So basically now UCLA has created this tool where we can filter all these streets based on criteria we could set up on the filtering it. And we can see which streets are like, have what kind of widths they have, what kind of conditions they have, what kind of hazards they have. And also now they're working this year 3, they're working on a cost estimating tool where we can quickly do a quick cost estimate to see how much it will cost to bring it to the city standards.
I appreciate that. It's important. I realize that you're just asking for a 1-year extension, but for, just the public certification. And also we have a new commissioner on hand as well, just for just transparencies. Do you have a question? Yes, Commissioner Grant.
My understanding also from my inquiries after this is that it also enables the city to develop better evacuation plans.
Yeah. So one of the assembly bills was to identify 2 evacuation routes for all the streets. So this application also shows that, it shows how long it takes from let's say the farthest point of the street, how long it takes to evacuate and what are the fastest routes. So you can filter that through the application.
Great. Thank you so much. And thanks for just the other context. Commissioners, do we have any other questions? This will be good information that UCLA will provide. I'm really glad that we've made this partnership with them.
Great information. It will be
Yeah.
by a lot of different agencies.
So, Commissioner Reyes?
So just for my edification, will this be made public eventually once it is done? The report is done, and will it be integrated into a central platform? So at least, the public knows about it. There's transparency. Developers will look at it if they plan to build, right? Things like that I'm just looking at. There are many valuable uses for this tool and we're paying for it. So what is the plan overall to make the most bang for our buck?
So we have a quarterly meeting where we have all the departments come in and UCLA does a presentation, Bureau of Street Services, Planning, DOT.
Okay.
All this department comes in, where UCLA gives a presentation and they ask questions. We're not there yet to see if we're going to incorporate it in-house, through our Navigator Lake that we have, that we can use it. But in the future, yes, once they have this application built and is ready, user-friendly and ready for everybody to use, it will be used by a lot of different departments.
Okay, because they're securing valuable data. And the data, we have to mine that data so that it'll be useful to the city. Okay, so I'll be curious as to what the next steps will be after this one. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that question. All right, I will move this item if we have a second. All right, you got it moved by a Trojan. Have you know that? I really like this work that you guys are doing.
Thank you.
All right, we have a motion by myself and a second by Commissioner Reyes.
Great. We'll take the roll call starting with you, Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Grant. And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
Wonderful. All ayes. The item is adopted and carries forthwith.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of your day. All right, we are continuing items 8, 9, and 10. And then we will start on administrative items. And we have 2 administrative items remaining. I will read in item 11.
And public comment too. So if you want
Yes.
to get first. Okay, great.
Yes, and then general public comment as well. Yeah. All right, so we have item number 11, and this is for all council districts. The mayor has approved and authorized the Board of Public Works to execute the proposed agreement with Nomadic Services for the assessment of petroleum natural gas royalties and rental revenue. And before us, we have audit LA on this item. Yeah, those are continued for 2 weeks. Yeah. Okay. And then if you can please check on Zoom.
Yeah. Caller AG, we're on item 11. If you would like to provide public comment, you'll have 2 minutes.
I'll pass.
Okay, thank you. And caller concerned citizen, if you would like to provide comment on item 11, you'll have 2 minutes.
General public comment.
Okay, we'll get there. All right, that's it.
Great. All right. Then since this is administrative, we don't have any staff to present on this item. Commissioners, do we have a motion to approve this item?
So move.
Right. Ms. Satorsky, we have a motion by Commissioner Grant and a second by Pro Tem Davis.
Great. We'll take the roll call starting with you, Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis. Commissioner Grant
Aye.
and Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
Great. All ayes. The item is adopted and carries forthwith.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. All right, then let's go on to item number 12. And this is also an administrative item. And this is in Council Districts 4 and 13, specifications submitted for board adoption and authorization to advertise for the invitation of bids for the North Outfall Sewer Rehabilitation Unit 20 and 21 Zoo Drive right-of-way to Doran Street. And this is work order SZC 13947, estimated value of $18,436,140 with the bid receipt date of Wednesday, December 11th, 2024. And Audit LA, would you like to speak on this item?
I do want to start though with saying that when it comes to the frustration and the ire, Mr. Grant, you're really excused from it because you're so new. It's not, but now you can learn about what's important to me, while you're, now. Now with this one, I basically want to talk about it only because it's Council District 13. So hopefully, Madam Villegas, you will find it on topic. Also because it's about the sewer rehabilitation. And I have concerns, which I have brought up a little bit today about sewer issues and rainwater and pollution and stuff going into it. And I believe all the sewers are connected, if I'm not mistaken. So what the sewer at L. Ron Hubbard Way, Fountain, Catalina would likely possibly, run into this one, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not the engineering whizzes that you guys are. So I'm just, it's not my forte, but I care about what goes on with this kind of thing. So I'm going to keep asking you to please keep looking at what's going on, send investigators, make sure everything's up to law and code. If it is, that's fine. That's all I want. I'm not trying to say that Scientology can't have their planters. I just say that Scientology can't put stuff where it's going to go into our rainwater and harm our drinking water. Okay. I already feel like I have to filter everything. Like I don't feel like that. I don't feel safe drinking our city water. I really don't. Is that you guys, like why I don't feel safe drinking our water?
This is,
and it is on topic. It is
receipts,
ma'am. It's on topic because it's about, we're talking sewer water, right? And sewers connect. Okay, so I know I'm on topic.
It is
Thank
simply
you.
a reminder.
It's a reminder, and I got it. I'm on topic.
Okay.
It's a
that's 2
reminder.
minutes.
But remember, I prepare
on the
and I
North
have trust, ma'am.
Sewer
You're taking away my
Rehabilitation
public
Unit
time.
20 and 21.
We're going to have to file a complaint because stop taking away my
Thank
public
you,
time.
Speaker. That's
I already connected.
Thank you.
All right. And do we have callers on Zoom?
Yes, caller AG, if you would like to speak on this item, you will have 2 minutes.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to remind Commissioner Teresa to stay on topic as I continue to iterate my public comment on this agenda item for the marketing and budget that's been proposed of $18 million. So Speaker, as I'm issuing my comment, I'm reminding you to please stay on topic. I know you likely are on topic, but I'm just reminding you to stay on topic. It's important that you stay on topic.
Thank you for the reminder. If you have a public comment on item 12, this is for an invitation for bids.
Right, for the invitation for bids, which is a marketing budget of 18 million, right? I'm reminding not only you, Commissioner, but everybody else that proposed a bid to stay on topic of the bid. It's very important to stay on topic for a bid, right? Because staying on topic is of crucial, not most importance, not only for this board, but for the potential bidders and also for the eventual neighbors that will see those bids. And it's important that they too are reminded to stay on topic, because what a world it would be if the neighbors, the commissioners, and the bidders and the attendees were not on topic. Topics are very important, and I just want to make sure that I remind you how important those topics are and to stay on those topics, and particularly on point of the topic at hand. Topics are a very beautiful thing, and I just want to remind you that it's important to stay on the topic, and that's why you've earned the nickname Topic Teresa. Thank you. I yield my time.
That's the end of our public.
All right, wonderful, thank you. All right, so do we have this is an administrative item, so we don't have any staff to present on this item. If we have a motion to move this item. All right, Ms. Satorsky, we have a motion by Pro Tem Davis and a second by Commissioner Grant.
Okay, we'll take the roll call starting with you, Vice President Villegas.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Davis, aye.
Commissioner Grant.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
Great, all ayes, the item is adopted and carries forthwith.
Wonderful, thank you so much. All right. Then this leads us back to our general public comment. And we will start with Audit LA.
Hello again, commissioners. Again, or Mr. Grant, I'm going to give a history lesson of how we gotten to this point. You already know it's about Scientology and their planters, right? And they're not only that, they had endless, I think we're up to 30 street closure permits for bogus events. And lane, and I care about the safety of, believe it or not, I care very much about the safety of every human life inside those buildings. Okay. And also illegal, putting cement and like work on tunnels, so many different things. So I started coming to these meetings on Zoom in, what was it? June, I'm thinking June. And it started off with just me and a lady named Mona, because we were just very passionate about this. It's grown since, because people are, they're looking at this and like, wow, since June, why is nothing being done? It's like I said, federal laws, ADA, fire lanes, we're talking lives, illegal permits that don't exist, or endless street closures. Like, why are they allowed to have so much abuse and control over this city? And that became, so that's why you're hearing all this ire. It's not that, it's, we want answers. We want to know why. And I actually, I decided then to come in person because basically, I forget what actually started. It was just probably by Ms. Villegas, touching somebody. Oh, I think she kicked Goat Puppet out or something like that. And I know, I understand you don't like it can be disruptive. You don't like it. I get it. But I came in person and it's still to no avail. Although I did find out, I found it charming. See, he's trying to listen to me, Ms. Villegas. You're taking away from his ability to listen to my public comment.
Thank you, Speaker. That's 2 minutes.
Okay, but no, I get my time back because she's disrupting me. Like, really, I should get my seconds back. She's interrupting him being able to listen to my public comment. But that's how you guys, she rolls.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. That's you have to. Yes.
Okay. And then we will continue with public comment. I will excuse myself, and Pro Tem will continue with public comment. Thank you.
Okay, great. For the record, President Pro Tem Davis is going to begin chairing the meeting at 12:40 p.m. And then we'll continue with public comment. Pro Tem, that was all the speakers in person.
Sure.
We have callers on the Zoom. I'm going to read an order of what we're going to go in. So if you don't hear your name, please raise your hand if we didn't grab you before the meeting. So we're going to start with the caller AG Bonta, then we're going to go to Kenny, then we're going to go to Mona, then we're going to go to Sandra, then Yvonne, and then Amy, and then Concerned Citizen, and then May Ann. So if you didn't hear your name, please make sure to raise your hand, but we're going to start with caller AG on the line. You'll have 2 minutes for your public comment.
I just want to start off to say to the new commissioner, you really have no excuse to play dumb here, all right? If you didn't know before, you do now. This shit is about Scientology. We have video evidence of them outright using slave labor, specifically children, to do major construction, all right? And we have several court cases, and your ass is legally culpable and on the line. So don't fucking play stupid. You know now. I'm tired of that shit. That's why we go to each of these meetings. You're lawfully culpable and federal suits are coming. Here's your warning. It's on video. Second of all, that gentleman that was here talking about the planners, I actually support revocable permits. And you know who isn't getting revocable permits? 4820 Fountain Avenue, the cult of Scientology, with over 200 fucking illegal planters, all of which were put up by slave labor, all of which we have on fucking court cases. Third of all, the fact that in each of these court cases, we literally have lawyers from the Jeffrey Epstein family, the fucking same guy raping children. And on that same public street, all right, same public street, Scientologists literally sexually stalking and harassing a minor boy and his mother, Solomon Sassoon, swatting him, swatting me. I'm the victim. I'm one of the victims. I had guns pointed out of my fucking head. For what? For protesting Scientology. We have video evidence of them literally using children to lube up adults and massage them on tables in each of their fucking alleged church buildings. That's not a religious service. That's straight up child rape. You're protecting child rapists. That's what this shit is about. It's not about construction. It's not about this other fluff, all right? We know. We have the fucking court cases. We have the video evidence. So the question is, my friend, what are you going to do about it? Because you're legally culpable. This is your fucking warning. This is your chance to make it right. Your children will see this. We will protest your neighborhood. Take this fucking seriously. It's not a fucking joke. We're not going away.
Next caller is Kenny. If you could go ahead and unmute yourself, you'll have 2 minutes for your public comment.
Yeah, first of all, y'all violated the Brown Act violation by making us wait this long. Then that rude ass lady who want to talk all kind of shit wants to leave because she knows she was gonna hear about it and she knows she was fucking wrong. Then the people, if you're an armed security guard in the state of California, you have to have a special badge number and the name of the security company on your shirt. Well, the security around the blue building all along L. Ron Hubbard is walking around armed with shirts that you can buy off Amazon, which is the word security, walking around just batting people's phone out their hand and acting real aggressive, which is a legal way of doing things. Y'all not doing Scientology. It's a cult. Y'all not doing nothing. And that lady, she acts like she's down with it because she issues out her warnings and all that, and then runs and hides and leaves. And when publicans speak, if y'all don't see nothing wrong with it, then that's a fucking problem too. Y'all act like these people can do whatever they want. They don't have to move the planners. They don't have to abide by laws, ADA laws, nothing. They can just walk around, do what they want. LAPD gets a call saying that a protester is getting kind of harassed and all from the crowd. And the crowd called, and LAPD comes in there hot, pulling a billy club on the protester who was the innocent one. He was even backing up from the law, and LAPD officer was keep coming aggressively with a billy club. Now y'all tell me that's community policing. Y'all full of shit. All y'all do is waste fucking time, money, and everything else. Because all the fake calls that Scientology makes, that's wasting taxpayers' dollars. Yet y'all sit there and don't do shit, but keep begging for more and more and more. That's some bullshit. Why y'all don't bring Teresa back out here and let her hear what we gotta say? Don't let her cop out like that. Y'all watch to the
Next caller is Yvonne. Yvonne, if you can go ahead and
y'all shit. Fuck y'all.
Yvonne, if you can go ahead and unmute yourself, you'll have 2 minutes for your public
Thank you. And I recognize the problems being cited, but not the language being used. When we identify a problem, I think that we're obligated to suggest a solution. Permit number 202416 2024 is an example. This what took place last weekend, and it is a perfect example of why I'm proposing my solution. Their permit said they wanted 300 people to be in attendance. It was an open public event, and the only restrictions was traffic of vehicles. There was to be no food selling, no rock band, no dancing, and fire lane was to be enforced. The fire lane was not enforced. There was dancing, there was a band, and not only one stage area, but two. It was not actually open to the public. People were rushed along the sidewalk, hurry up, go through, do not dilly-dally. And for all intents and purposes, it really was a filming or photograph opportunity for the Church of Scientology for their promotional materials. In addition, food actually was procured and is videotaped of the transaction is available. Secondly, if 300 people are expected at an event, there is a requirement that at least one ADA accessible porta potty is part of the facility layout. The solution is do not extend the privilege.
Next, we'll have Mona. You'll have 2 minutes for your general public comment.
Thank you. I thought it was 3 minutes, but that's okay. I want to bring your attention to the to your documentation dated September 5th, 2023. It's the Parkway Landscaping Guidelines. This document is intended to provide constituents with guidelines regarding the installation of landscape improvements with the public right-of-way. Generally consists of street easements that contain city streets, lanes, alleys, parkways, and sidewalks. How ironic that that's what that gentleman was just getting. The Scientology building is zoned commercial, and one must have permits for every dam, and I'm saying dam, planter, 254 of them on the easements. They have 0 permits. They were ordered to remove the planters in clear violation of the city ordinance, city planning, federal ADA. Per the ordinance, if the property owner does not fix the issue, the city is responsible and shall invoice the offender. On Catalina, the rose bushes along Catalina are not in compliance. They have thorns. This is all per your document. I'm taking this right out of your document. No stakes are allowed unless they are propping up new permitted trees. There's a court case right now of a gentleman facing misdemeanor vandalism charges because he removed the stakes that were possibly going to hurt somebody. This is all verbatim out of your documents. This is a Board of Public Works authority, purview, and obligation. The enforcement of this document and the regulations stated are 100% your problem. Either do your job or resign. Thank you, and I yield back my time.
Thank you, caller. Next caller is Sandra. Sandra, you'll have 2 minutes for your public comment.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Thanks for allowing me to speak. I actually was going to address the exact same thing that Mona, the previous speaker, addressed about Section 2B of the Parkway Landscape Guidelines in regards to the commercial permits. Anyway, I won't repeat Mona. I will just say ditto. I also called previously in regards to someone in your office advising people to get their permits through Scientology because it's cheaper than paying the city. Have you investigated that yet? Have you found the mole within your organization? I also want to know who in your organization is in the pockets of Scientology, because it seems that everybody else in Los Angeles has to apply by public works regulations, but Scientology doesn't. So who's in their pocket? My other question is, are you mandatory reporters? Are you required to go to the authorities if it is brought to you that there is rape and abuse of young children within the blue buildings of Scientology? Are you mandatory reporters? And when we tell you 17 million times that this is going on in the hotels that they own and the blue buildings with their purification rundowns where children are sitting in saunas with grown adults, you just have to read the Book of Dianetics, which is their Bible. So are you mandatory reporters? My other problem was public people walking through public streets getting injured on these planters. They moved them together. They put them closer. You can't get in between them. Who's liable for that? Is it the city? Is it Scientology? Because they're illegal planters.
That's your 2 minutes.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Next caller is Amy. Amy, if you can go ahead and unmute yourself, you have 2 minutes.
Okay, I'm reiterating what Mona said before the previous caller. It's disgusting to have people wait this long for public comment. I think I'm in a communist country. That's why you're probably called California in your little bubble of doing what you want and really being too really progressive and taking away people's rights because of Scientology that you seem to be in bed with. It's unsafe that you haven't removed the planters. There's over 200 of them that need permitting. And also, Teresa's inappropriate. I think you need to investigate her. I think maybe she is taking money from Scientology. You guys are in a bubble. The world is watching. You look like fools because every time we have to come on and tell you about yourselves and letting people get away with things that most are not allowed to get away with. How much money have you taken? Where's your audit? Maybe you need to be audited. Who's going to come in? Maybe the IRS has got to come in and see who's taking money from a cult that's really a criminal cult. And I have a new saying for Teresa, Tiananmen Teresa. What did she do? Did she go to a communist country to get lessons on how to shut down people's First Amendment? Because that seems like what she's doing, taking away my voice and making me wait for 2 hours just to get my comments in. That is absolutely inappropriate. You have a lot to be ashamed of, and you're on the wrong side of history. I yield back my time.
Thank you, caller. Next caller is Concerned Citizen. You'll have 2 minutes. Caller.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You'll have 2 minutes.
Okay, so what the hell is going on? Why did Villegas leave? And then also the man next to the Asian lady, what did she say to him that made him laugh? Are they making fun of us? What's going on with that? Anyways, those planners that on Fountain and Scientology building, they need to be removed. Why are you going after the guy in Venice, but not the guys at the Scientology building? That is unfair, and that's probably illegal. And, you guys have to do something about this. And I just don't understand why Villegas left. She's very dismissive. She's rude. She doesn't pay attention. What's wrong with her? If she can't handle the heat, then she needs to get out of the kitchen. I yield my time.
Thank you, caller. Our next and last public comment we have, so if anyone else, please raise your hand, is May Ann. Go ahead and unmute yourself. You'll have 2 minutes for your public comment.
Yes, thank you. I'm calling on behalf of Ada's Nail and Hair Salon at 4810 Fountain Avenue. There's planters in front of the business. It's not in front of Scientology. These are Scientology planters in front of a private business, and I want them removed. Who is the street service enforcement officer to come and remove these planters? The planters have already been, I've known this, that they have been told to get rid of all the planters, and they're still there. As Armenians, we come from a communist country, And to have Scientology, they should take Ron L. Harbett's picture down and put Stalin's picture up, because this is what this whole community is doing. It's sad to be an American and to come from a country where this is just happening, and this is not America that's happening on Scientology area. There's no permits. They did not comply for a construction permit. There's construction debris inside of these. There is no way of getting deliveries or anybody getting out of their cars there. The Scientology people put handicaps plackets in the cars and leave them there. And why is not Scientology able to where's the permits for these people? This is communist, a whole communist area. I don't understand it. So I asked you, as a person of a business at 4810 Fountain Avenue, remove the planters. They're in front of Ada's Nail and Hair Salon, and they are Scientology's planters in front of a private business.
All right, President Pro Tem Davis, that is the end of our general public comment today, and that is the end of our agenda items.
Okay, great. I was going to ask that we finished all the agenda items, and we have. The meeting is now adjourned.
At 12:57 p.m., just for the record.
Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Wow, they shut it down quick, huh? Okay, you guys. That pissed me off when all the thanks for sticking it out, you guys. And I don't know who Carlos is. Is he on here or is he in another room? I haven't figured out who Carlos is. Yeah, that was great. Then it took forever. It was a 3-hour meeting. I'm just livid about. You know, that guy was kind of a Pollyanna, Mr. Monsieur. He was, but they have been fighting it for a couple of years. And if they did all the proper steps. Oh, City of Angels. Okay, yes. I understand. I know who he is then. There you go. Okay, I know who he is. So if they did all the right steps, if they're ADA compliant, blah, 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 then that's cool. But you don't have one rule for one and one for another. That just, yeah, this one was tough. This one was a long one. Speaking of which, though, I need to go to the ladies' room and call back a couple of folks. So thank you, guys. It's all we can do, one step at a time. Okay, bye. Bye, guys.